or because I don't have a bike on which I will want to fit a set like this, maybe I will buy like a Halo set of wheels for pure pleasure, but in terms of need or whatever, it's just a appreciation for these products. Of course, the price is incredible. These guys said basically it's around 200, the X model in the last video. This guy said it's around 160 one piece 4 years ago. Today they are 100 a piece, so basically $200 for a brand new set. Gold Formula Cura sounds good, it attracts me, but somehow being realistic, I have a lot of components and I don't exclude that, but it's not a alright, I saw the price because it's 300, because it was 300 and now it's 200 for this set. I just will buy, even though of course I put my money on what I speak. These things are of course great value, great performance, I don't doubt about this thing, but honestly this is not a Formula Cura video to review these things. Can be in general or can be somehow a discussion about Shimano in particular. Maybe I will talk if I would buy, I will buy a set of this, but you can see the price, they are actually incredible, they also look amazing in gold, and of course here you can choose black. Alright, the same incredible price, polished, so just amazing price, amazing set, amazing power modulation, and a lot of people still talking about 4-piston, more power, what can I choose, 2-piston or 4-piston? Somehow this only thing, the number of pistons, being the enigma of the whole thing about brakes. 2 or 4, oh 4, oh, but why not 3, but why not 1, 2 or 4, oh. So it's a bit sketchy when you don't know, but also into the era of information, even though maybe in the future this era will look like dark ages, like we live now in caves, we somehow can navigate between things. We can ask trustworthy reviewers and not believe whoever unhonest people or just ignorant people at whatever bike shop who try somehow honestly to live by the day and sell whatever products they receive from the dealers.
Same with the SRAM. They're rotor-wise, they're about the same. Shimano rotors are like double the money. They're like $60-$70 a rotor. These are like $30-$35. So same as SRAM. So that's a huge positive. Second pro to these brakes, the weight. They're super light. These are cross-country light brakes. They weigh, they come in at like 2 with hose and everything, 359 grams for the set, and compared to my Code RSCs were 568.
So basically again a comparison, but not between Shimano and Formula. At disc prices, he made a very solid argument. Shimano rotors especially top-end rotors, have that technology to cool faster. Of course, you can buy whatever other rotor. Not important. The idea is next one. Again, in terms of weight, he compares with SRAM. So in terms of price, you pay more for SRAM. In terms of weight, oh, you pay more, you have more weight. Good, more power. In terms of problems, you pay more, you have bigger weight, you have more problems. So, of course, if you go back and you don't have this exit solution with Formula Cura brakes, and in general, if you talk about any component at all, again, Shimano is in his place. The other guys, it's a Wild Jungle, is the what's that called? No, West, Wild West. All right, Wild West, Shimano.
Off the top of my head, 568 grams a set, so over 200 grams in weight savings, and they have the same power.
So basically they have the same power, so you don't have more power. You pay more, you have more problems, and it weighs more.
They're $150 cheaper. So 200 gram weight savings, $150 price point savings. They've got the same power or more than the SRAM code RSCs, and they're Italian. Italians are badass. I'm Italian, and we make badass shit. So one thing.
So he's actually subjective, a bit of fanhood, a bit of whatever, which is nice. As in football, it's nice to be fan of whatever. That's a bit more emotional. That's a bit more nice to have also this thing, to don't be only rational. Oh, that's the best. Oh, that's the thing. Or a bit of the preferences. Let's say like this, unjustifiable or maybe native. If I like blue, I'm with Shimano. Argue with that.
Thing I do want to mention, why I went with the 2-piston over the 4-piston. For one, this bike is a short travel bike. It's a 120, 130. It's only 30 pounds with pedals. So I just didn't necessarily, I mean, that's kind of heavy for the travel it is. But I didn't see a need in getting the 4 pistons. Also, I did have a problem with my SRAM's 4 pistons. One of the pistons would get stuck, and so you'd have 2 firing on this side and only 1 firing, and like one would get stuck, and it would cause more power on one side on the other, and I'd get like this head shake. So I'd be going down and grab some brake, and one piston wouldn't fire, it'd stick, and you get it kind of this scary feeling, kind of like a twitchy feeling. It feels like someone's shaking the bars. I had them warranted a couple times, so I just kept
only a couple times.
having problems. With 2 pistons, I just feel like there's less things that can go wrong. So everyone now thinks 4 pistons better. They think it's more power. They think it's more modulation, and maybe it is, but these have tons of modulation, tons of power, just as much as the 4 pistons I've ran. So take that with a grain of salt for what it's worth. 2 pistons just seem like there's less things that could go wrong. Going to be more consistent, more reliable. It just seemed to me like a no-brainer, especially for this bike. So just one last thing, let's talk about the cons. So I've talked about how great these brakes are. They're just ridiculous power, great modulation, consistency. Like, so you're like, what's the downside? They're hard to find. Yeah, luckily Joyride, they swear by them, and they always carry a ton of stock. So they always have brakes in there, and they always have brake pads and rotors in stock, just because they all use them themselves. But I don't think a lot of shops are going to stock. So when you need brake pads, they might be hard to find. So you might want to get online maybe and buy a couple extra sets of pads, a couple extra sets of rotors. That way, if you ever do need to swap them out and you're in a pinch, you got them there, and then once you use those, you can just order a new set. So you always have a backup set. That would be my recommendations. Luckily here, I don't have too much of an issue because usually Joyride's pretty stocked up. All right, let's take a look here. So here's the brakes. I really like the design. It's just a very, very subdued, not bulky at all. Just really like the way these things look, and love the way they feel. So as you can see here, I just have a very quick engagement. I mean, that's pulling as hard as I can. So tons of power right off the get, and same thing over here, exact same, boom. Yeah, love these brakes. I think they look awesome. They feel awesome. Can't say enough good things about them. So I went with the 2s. So here's the rotor right here. This is their monolithic rotor, and here's a caliper. I'm running the organic pads, the black backing ones. The setup I got right here, I'm not changing it. It just feels absolutely perfect. All the power in the world, all the modulation I could ever want, and just unbelievable consistency. So, huge fan of these brakes. Been meaning to review these for a while. A subscriber, JJ, shout out to JJ. He's
JJ.
part of the Evil Following, and he's waiting for his, and he was asking me about these brakes, so figured give me an excuse to get a review on these things. I'll link an article down below from Enduro Bike Mag, and they took up all of these brakes, Hopes, Trick Stuff, Code RCs, XTs, Cura 2s, and the Cura 2s outperformed the SRAM RSC and the XT and the Hopes in the 45 to 0 and the 45 to 15 mile or kilometer deceleration tests. These ones they beat them out by a lot. The only ones that were better, I think, in the 45 kilometer to 0 was the Maguras and the Trick Stuff. Trick Stuffs are like crazy expensive and they're like a year out, but these were like top dog or second to top dog on every single test. So they're big fans of them. They put them through the test. I put them through the test. I cannot recommend these brakes enough. Ditch your Shimanos, ditch your SRAMs. It was hard for me to get off the big name brands just because SRAM and Shimano, you like instantly know, oh, that's a quality product. And it's just like, not saying it's not a quality product, I just had so many more issues with their brakes than I have with these. So anyways, hope that helped you guys out. Formula, Cura 2 brakes. I'm not getting off these things anytime soon. Love them. They're the best. See you on the next one.